want to be starting this one off with Sender because this is a guy who really impressed everyone at the Call of Duty Ghosts Season 3 playoff. On the rotation, you can see his teammates in the hard point. They're doing a fantastic job of keeping him clear as he picks up the two-piece stuff as well. Finally, John is going to take out Lawless, and Sender starting things off the way I expected, 3-0. Also, got to give credit to Happy.
Absolutely phenomenal. Sender's going to pick up one. Can he find a second? Yes, he can. That's a double kill on A. And as well.
The flag. He's surrounded by 3 players here. First one, gone. Second one, gone. And now he's making the play forward. He's got some help from Diabolic at mid-map. He's got to get out there, picks up the third. Fourth one, gets the
And now it's a battle to see who's going to get the second and third most kills on this squad. Sender does he, fighting for 35.
Yeah, see no flag champion. He's dead. It's ready to go. Is it time to bring it out? Nameless holds the third. Challenge comes in. He gets the headshot.
It's you for
My name is Troy Landon Michaels, but my alias is Sender. I'm originally from New York. I've lived in many places, but currently residing in Frisco, Texas. And I'm the head coach of the Chicago Huntsmen COD team. I ended up as the coach of the Chicago Huntsmen basically through general, because originally I was gonna go to the LA spot, but this ended up just being a better opportunity that was super short notice, so I ended up just taking it. I started in Modern Warfare 2 for the most part. I played World at War, but Modern Warfare 2 is basically where I started playing like competitively, like on game medals and stuff. Played tons of matches back then, Black Ops 1. I actually went to Halo Reach during Black Ops 1 as well a little bit. And I was competing in that, just basically in scrims and stuff. I was super young and I honestly was kind of scared to like go to tournaments and stuff because I personally I didn't want to like travel across the country with people I didn't know. Like I was 15 years old, like it wasn't really for me at that time. But after Halo Reach, when Modern Warfare 3 came out, I got asked to go to a local LAN with some of my old teammates, and basically that's where I started. So I competed in World War II under Enigma 6, but a little bit prior to that, I was in a really bad spot in my life. Was competing at a couple of the first open tournaments in World War II, didn't have success, wasn't teaming with like the best teammates, it just had a lot of problems. I got put in a situation where I was playing a lot of 8s at the time, and my name started getting spread around through that, because for me, like I've always been like a known player, but like nobody actually knows like what I bring to a team and stuff unless like you play with me, because like I don't really socialize that much with other like professional players and stuff like that. I'm kind of like just to myself. So when I had a couple offers, like at the time it was to either join Ghost or Enigma 6. Obviously I was literally living at my friend Example's house, broke as hell, I had no money. Then I got offers to like basically move into either like a mansion or like my own place and actually get a salary again. So it was like a huge leap for me. So I ended up making the decision to join Enigma 6 and then rode that season out. Had decent placings, nothing I actually wanted, but had a good time, and just that kind of transitioned me into Black Ops 4 where unfortunately like it just didn't work out in Enigma 6 as a player. So I just kind of took the route of playing with like some of my old friends, just because some of the teams I was trying to make during that off season didn't really work out, and did decent, but nothing that I actually wanted, and it was just way too much of a headache, especially for the situation I was in where it's like I have all my bills to pay, and obviously if I'm trying to compete, like I put all my time and energy into whatever situation I'm in, so I don't like half-ass anything. And that's kind of how I transitioned to coaching, because Jordan's team wasn't doing particularly well at the start of Black Ops 4, and they needed help, especially with the people they were picking up. Picked up Frosty, who never played COD before. They just had a lot of inexperience on the team, so I figured I could probably just help them out, and that's what I did. So when I played previously, I was an in-game leader. So like obviously a lot of the in-game plays I'd be calling for the most part. A lot of the pressure was already on me personally, because obviously your IGL needs to make sure everybody's doing the right things, and nobody can be slacking off, nobody can be doing something by themselves. Like everyone has to be on the same page at all times, or else it's gonna crumble. So for me, like with that mindset already, coaching kind of became easy, and it's already something that like I really like doing, because for me, being able to teach people and taking a load off a lot of the players on the team so they don't really have to think as much in game was something that kind of drove me to like make them a good team. And obviously, like I said, last year we had a bunch of different thrown together rosters that you know, might have not been like A tier, but at the same time, like I knew how to get the most out of my players. So that was kind of what the passion came from for me, to make sure that they wanted to, you know, keep playing and never get down on themselves and never feel like they were out when, you know, like obviously we had days where it didn't go the best, you know, practice didn't go the best, but at the end of the day, like as long as we're taking something from it and trying to be as constructive as possible, you know, it was super easy to like keep them motivated to like keep wanting to play with each other. So as I sit here today, looking forward to my future with these guys, like working with the Huntsmen, working with the players I have on the team. It's honestly a blessing compared to where I was basically coming from before, where it's like, you know, like I said, just a bunch of kind of thrown together players. But obviously now I'm working with some of the best players in the world. With these guys, I know obviously it's not going to be perfect every day, but at the same time, like I know they're the most skilled people in the world. They have some of the best attitudes, like the right mindsets to be champions, as it shows. So for me personally, I know how much easier it will be working with these guys. Obviously, I don't feel any like extra pressure working with these guys at all. I think like I've been cool with them for the most part, like throughout my whole years of competing and knowing these guys personally. So I feel like this situation with this basically exact roster is actually like a really good fit for me, because I know like they're gonna respect me, I'm gonna respect them. There's not gonna be any internal issues like that. And obviously, with the amount of talent on this roster, like, you know, the sky's the limit with these guys, and my job is to make sure they're as consistent as possible and just doing everything in my power to make sure they're at like their peak performance at all times. So the person that sets up the scrims is me. I try to make sure everything's as organized as possible. Obviously, nobody's perfect right now. Everything's kind of just, you know, the game isn't at its best state right now, so a lot of the teams aren't taking it as seriously as they should be. But I'm trying to make sure these guys are always on point. At the moment, I'm being kind of flexible with the scheduling. So obviously, it's kind of early, so I'm not like really against it. But like as time goes on, we're gonna make sure we're a lot more strict about the schedule, like when we have to play, when we have to be ready. But for the most part, I haven't had any issues with like these guys being late or not showing up for practice, anything like that. So it's been a great time so far. The reason why I feel like a lot of these guys should just be taking it seriously already is because like the game's not going to be forcibly changed. So that's just going to be something that Infinity Ward does themselves. So at the moment, it's not like the game's going to be changing so drastically to the point where practicing right now is useless. Obviously, if they add new maps and stuff like that, you know, it will change here or there, but the core mechanics of the game are going to stay the same. So getting the repetitions in now is just going to give you an advantage for when, if the game actually does change for the better. So for the teams that think that being lazy right now is going to pay off just because they're going to start actually playing the game if it becomes better, is literally the stupidest mindset in my opinion, because like at the end of the day, if you're sitting there going hard and then a patch comes out that makes the game better, you're gonna have the advantage tenfold over the team that's not even practicing. So that's why I think just playing a lot, staying ahead is like the best thing you can do right now. Like you don't have to take the game 1,000,000% serious, because obviously there are some things in the game that should be changed, but at the same time, we're trying to make the best out of it every single day. I don't really consider people a threat. I consider what my team's doing. Like if we're doing the wrong stuff, that's gonna be the reason, like that's gonna be our downfall. So I think for our team, we don't really have any particular threats. I think some teams are looking pretty solid right now, like such as like the Empire or like Seattle or Atlanta, but I think for the most part, like anyone can get better at any given time as long as they put in the right amount of effort. And I think all these guys on different teams have the experience and have the knowledge to be good. So I'm mainly just focused on making sure I'm making the game as simple as possible for our team, that we're playing it as efficiently as possible. So at the end of the day, we have crazy talent on this team. So if we're playing our best and we know what to do in every situation, like I don't think like we're gonna lose. So the way that the CDO is scheduled this year, I think is gonna be a learning experience. I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna be the most efficient way for people to actually play matches. I think it's gonna be super stressful and tedious to have to travel so much to play one match, especially for the teams that aren't looking the best. I think that's gonna be super stressful, but for the most part, like obviously taking this leap into franchising, like I'm not expecting like everything to go perfect the first year, but hopefully over time, like or in the next year, things do get a little bit cleaner and like people don't only have to play like one match at like different places. Like it's more of like a compact. You go somewhere, you play a few matches, then like you have like a week off to like practice, get better, you go to another place. So obviously I think a lot of improvements need to be made, but at the same time, like, you know, like I'm just taking it with a grain of salt. I'm just gonna do what they give to us right now and just kind of go with that. What I expect for myself personally going into this year is even though the state of the game isn't the best, and obviously there's gonna be problems here or there, for me, I always took pride in making sure the people that I'm working with know that I'm the best that they could be possibly working with. So obviously not many people know who I am, not many people know what I do. Obviously my reputation is kind of neither here or there, but I do know this, like I'm one of the most hardworking people in like the world that I know. Like, so for me personally, I know that as long as I keep doing what I'm doing and I don't worry about outside noise, I make sure that all my players are focused and learning the most efficient and best ways to play the game, I know that they're gonna be the best team. So just gotta keep doing that and just focus on COD. Don't let outside distractions influence us at all, and just keep getting better every single day.